Stuart Young caught in a red trick, the truth about the Gazette and the missing companies, an editorial by Professor Wall Street. In a stunning display of political opportunism, former Prime Minister and Energy Minister Stuart Young has launched what can only be described as a deliberate campaign of misinformation regarding the new government's ministerial assignments. Young's claims that the UNC government has somehow failed to recognize key energy companies in the official Gazette rings particularly hollow when compared with documented evidence from his own tenure. Young's statement alleging that Trinidad Petroleum Holdings Limited, TPHL, Heritage Petroleum Company Limited, and Perea Fuel Trading Company Limited were omitted from the May 13th, 2025 Gazette, and his dire warnings about potential bond defaults and credit downgrades represents the worst kind of fear-mongering. It is a transparent attempt to manufacture crisis where none exists and undermine public confidence in the newly elected Pursat Business Administration. 10 reasons why Stuart Young's claims are demonstrably false. 1. Identical Gazette format. The official Gazette document from Young's own tenure as Energy Minister, dated March 20th, 2025, follows exactly the same format as the current Gazette. A side-by-side comparison reveals that Heritage Petroleum and Perea Fuel Trading were not individually listed in Young's own Gazette either. This exposes his criticism as not just wrong, but hypocritical. 2. Standard categorization practice. Both the previous and current Gazette documents organize state enterprises under broader categories like wholly owned enterprises and indirectly owned enterprises. There has been no change in this administrative categorization system between administrations, making Young's sudden concern particularly disingenuous. 3. Historical precedent. The format used in ministerial assignments has remained consistent across multiple administrations. Young never raised concerns about this standard practice during his tenure, only discovering it as problematic after leaving office, a textbook example of selective outrage. 4. Legal continuity maintained. The ministerial responsibilities for state enterprises remain legally sound through the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries assignment over the energy sector broadly. The UNC government has maintained this legal continuity exactly as it existed under Young's leadership. 5. Bond documents don't require Gazette specificity. The financing agreements for the bonds Young references do not contain requirements for specific naming conventions in government gazettes. The legal obligations rest with the companies themselves and the government broadly, not with bureaucratic documentation formats. 6. Misleading financial alarm. Young's claims about potential bond defaults demonstrate either a concerning misunderstanding of how sovereign bonds operate or a deliberate attempt to create market anxiety. Bond rating agencies evaluate substantive policy and fiscal management, not ministerial Gazette formatting. 7. Documented ministerial overlap. Under Young's own leadership, several entities were managed through ministerial oversight without explicit individual naming in the Gazette. This standard practice continues today, making his criticism particularly contradictory given his own administrative history. 8. Technical omission versus substantive change. The alleged omission Young highlights represents no substantive change in governmental responsibility or oversight. It's a technical matter of documentation format that remained constant across administrations, including his own. 9. Professional consistency. Career civil servants who have managed these documents across multiple administrations have maintained consistent formatting standards. Young's sudden discovery of problems with these long-established formats suggests political motivation rather than genuine concern. 10. Selective citation of companies. Young's focus on just 3 companies, while ignoring dozens of other subsidiaries and affiliated entities that receive similar treatment in the Gazette, reveals the selective nature of his criticism. If his concern were genuine, it would extend to the entire structure of governmental documentation. As Minister Barry Paderat rightly stated, the Gazette has not yet been published in its final form. Any omissions or mistakes can be easily corrected via a simple notification to the President. In conclusion, what Trinidad and Tobago is witnessing is not administrative oversight, but political theater. Stuart Young, having presided over exactly the same administrative documentation system he now criticizes, appears determined to manufacture controversy rather than support good governance. The newly elected government has maintained administrative continuity while focusing on substantive economic management rather than bureaucratic rebranding. The public deserves honest discussion about energy policy and national finances, not manufactured crises based on misrepresentations of standard governmental documentation. This episode serves as a stark reminder of why the electorate rejected the politics of fear on April 28. Trinidad and Tobago deserves better than disingenuous claims designed to create unnecessary anxiety about our economic stability. The documented evidence is clear. Stuart Young's allegations fall apart when compared with his own administrative record. Rather than engaging in these transparent political maneuvers, former government officials would better serve the nation by respecting the will of the electorate and allowing the new administration to address the real challenges left in their wake.